Hello guys, it's week 9 and we are going to be dealing on more personal and advanced topic we'll be talking about today. So week 9 is basically about advanced client attraction and follow-up. So that's what we're going to be learning week 9. Well, today being day 41 of our training, right, we're going to be learning how you can build your personal brand funnel. Right, we've talked about personal branding, how you could now let me explain what personal branding is. Right, personal branding is about you showcasing your personal values, personal culture, and personal value propositions to people. Right, that showcasing it, right, is more of telling, which is what leads you to marketing. Marketing is the announcing or the telling of what you have as a value proposition. Then sales is when you convert such value propositions into tangible cash transactions, right, or reward transactions. Right, that is when sales comes in. But now talking about personal branding, which is the bedrock for marketing, and sales, which is the bedrock for growing in your personal reach. Because without your personal branding, you must understand that our world is really shifting away from corporate branding to personal branding. You begin to see a lot of change. Gone are the days whereby CEOs don't want to be known, MDs don't want to be known. Now you have to be known. Who is behind this vision? People want to be sure. People want to be sure of the authenticity of who is behind this vision. So a lot of people now have to be on social media, who before now were not on social media, because the world is changing. Personal branding is one of the changes that has come with our age in this 21st century, right? So you must learn how to put yourself in a way that you want to be perceived as. That is your personal branding. What are the values you want to perceive from you? You want people to perceive from you. What are the culture you want to create among your audience is very, very pivotal for your personal branding, right? So let's dive right into how this personal branding now becomes a funnel whereby you can lead people through into becoming your clients and eventually your marketers. So let's go to it. So the goal of this week is to equip you to use funnels, lead magnets, retargeting, credibility, and automation in consistency, attracting and closing of clients, right? But for today, we are going to be focusing on building your personal brand funnel, right? So now this is something you should hear out. Every realtor wants more clients, right? You do want clients. You want 1, 2, 3, and as it increases, you want more, right? But here's the truth, right? People don't buy a land or a property the first time they meet you. Probably it's hard. When it comes to real estate investment, people don't do business because of they saw you on the hold up, you just give them a flyer and they want to do a business with you immediately, or because they saw your post on IG, you run an ad and they saw you, doesn't mean they'll do business with you. In fact, if you're running ad for the first time, don't expect so much conversion. Just expect visibility. Run ads just for visibility's sake, just to be known. Do you understand, right? So people don't buy from you because they met you for the first time, right? Even though it is you won't buy from someone you just met for the first time, especially when it touches real estate. If it touches food, if it touches buying a pen, you can just buy, right? Even when it comes to buying other things, you want to be sure of the brand. The brand has been there for a very long time. If you're not sure of the brand, you probably want to take a risk and just give it a try, like some of us, or some of, not us, but some of people gave a try to CBX that they had for the first time, and they took a risk on it because of the value proposition CBX brought, right? So well, that's that about that, right? What rather happens is that your client passes through a journey, and that journey is what we call the sales funnel. I know we've had a training on sales funnel. You might want to make reference to that video to understand what a sales funnel, but now in this video I'm going to be showing you how your personal brand affects your sales directly, right? So your personal brand is the top of the funnel, right? I'm sure you understand how a funnel is, right? It's wider up, and then it narrows its way down so that whatever comes in has a way to flow through into a particular container, something you're pouring into. So at the top of that funnel is your personal branding, and that it's how people discover you through your Instagram posts, your WhatsApp status, your YouTube videos, or even word of mouth. Now, that top of it is very, very important, because whatever people see first determines if they want to flow into that funnel or they don't want to flow into that funnel. Now, this is not a kind of funnel that if you're pouring a liquor into it, it just flow into as it will, right? Because it does not have a will of its own. But human beings have a will of their own. Now, they won't just flow to you because of you have a funnel, but they want to see that funnel well attractive enough for them to to flow into, right? So then comes their interests. When people start liking your content, asking questions, or checking your profile, you are beginning to build trust. They are beginning to see certain value propositions that you're bringing up to the market or bringing up to their space, and they feel worthy enough to want to be partaker of that thing, right? So gradually you are building interest in their heart. Then after that, consideration steps in. Consideration, right? Consideration. So they compare you with other companies, with other products, other realtors, and they watch how consistent you are, and then they test if you are trustworthy. When you share testimonies, when you share successes, when you share your processes, it builds further trust. They begin to consider you. You can see how you are building that funnel gradually. Remember, at the top of this funnel is what? Your personal branding, right? So finally, action. Then they take action. When they pay for a land or a house that they've been seeing and they perceived over time to be worth investing in with you, then they commit to it, right? So I hope you're understanding now. So think of it this way: if your funnel is weak at the top, which if your personal branding, you don't have a good profile picture, some of you need to go and change your profile pictures, probably create a new page, start afresh, or whatever you have now, edit it. Some of your throwback pictures are probably not necessary now because you don't want to create that first impression with people. Probably you just archive them, then later on when you are doing well, you can then do a throwback. Do you understand? Right? So you want to be sure. Please go back to the video that that I taught on personal branding, how you can set up your own social media page. You can go and learn that, right? So you know how the interface of your social media space ought to be like, right? So think of it this way: if your funnel is weak at the top, you won't have enough clients at the bottom, right? And if it leaks in the middle, client drops off before buying, right? So I showed you how the funnel goes, right? At the very top, most top is your personal branding. Then from your personal branding grows, through your consistency, interest, then consideration, then action. You can see how it keeps going, right? So you want to be sure that you get it from the top to the middle, to the intermediate, and to the end point where they eventually take action, right? So that's why I had to explain how your personal branding affects your marketing, and your marketing affects your sales, and your sales in turn affect your client, who will later become marketers for you, referring other people to you, right? So for example, imagine you meet 10 people at a church event or a mosque event or a social gathering event, right? 70 seconds, your Instagram, how do I put it now? Okay. Okay, let me skip this example for now. Let me just give you these tips that will probably help you. Ask yourself this question: where are my clients dropping off? At what point do the people who saw my status, who saw my Instagram story, who saw my Facebook post lose interest? Why did they lose interest? At what point in this funnel journey did they lose interest, right? Is it an awareness issue? You are not visible enough, or is it an interest, right? You don't have enough engagement, right? Or an action issue. So you want to be sure you need to push more on your awareness or interest, or to build interest with them, and then eventually they take action. So you want to be sure at what point your clientele, so you can do a statistic check and say 70%, 80%, 90% of my status viewers had awareness only. Only about 10%, probably 70 people viewed your WhatsApp status. Probably 7 people, asked you about it, right? Those are people that showed interest, and probably 1 of the 7 people eventually took action or considered you. I'm thinking of it, consideration, and 0 took action, or 1 took action, or 2 took action, as the case may be. So you want to be able to have a statistic build up and tracker for that funnel, right? So if you don't understand anything, kindly drop it in the comment section. Whatever questions you have. Friday we are going to have our live class, or Saturday, and we're going to be explaining further what you do not understand or comprehend much better. So here's something that you might want to take as an action step. So sketch your funnel on a paper today, like a funnel. Write awareness, interest, consideration, action, right? Note how many people in each stages are in each stages right now. So you want to check through the people that you've interfaced with, past and presently, and at what point did they stop. Then you categorize them. I have about 10 people who have been aware I'm into real estate. I have about 5 people who have interest. I have about 3 people who are considering. I have 1 person who is taking action, or has taken action. Do you understand? Oh yeah. So if you do that, you can share your sheet with us on the Google Classroom. Let's see how your funnel experience is like. So this is how you map out your Realtor sales funnel, through your personal branding, your consistent showing up, and that way you are building yourself a company people can trust in, right? So that will be that for today's class. I hope you got value from today's class. Thank you everybody for listening. My name is Banah, and I'm your ND, and the MD of Banah Realty Limited, your coach on you becoming a millionaire. Thank you for joining me on this journey.